be
Well,
some
now
of
we
the
know what the
legs.
sync difference is. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spill the CT. We're here on a brand new episode this week, just before Season 4 of Impact kicks off, and we have two amazing guests joining us. It's BiBiAhn and GooseBreeder from FlyQuest Red. Welcome both to the podcast.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having us.
Hi.
Of course, we had to get you guys on. We had some other NA guests recently. We're trying to get the whole spectrum across the board, and it feels like NA is in a bit of vogue at the moment. And obviously, Vivi, we were just together over in Romania, so you're like fresh on my mind. Wanted to get you in the crosshair immediately.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Guess we'll just jump into the goss then, Hedja, unless you have something you wanted to add.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask about that because I was that for you this time around, maybe to be able to play for your national team in an international competition.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
How was that for you?
Oh, how was that? I mean, yeah, I mean, it was nice, I guess. I mean, they're all like pretty old friends of mine, so it was pretty exciting, even the first time, to be able to play with them in Saudi, but to also qualify for Romania was also sick. So, and it's like the one thing I wanted to qualify for because like I get to meet everyone else. But yeah, like it's nice.
Yeah, and I was obviously I was not there, but I was actively watching the chat because Goose, I saw you were also there, but you didn't manage to qualify. You are Canadian, and it was your teammates from the USA who managed to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how the process went, but there wasn't like anything that I knew of for Canada, so I don't know how it went, but maybe next time around. But yeah, I was just supporting them to hope they did well, and in chat when it wasn't an insanely hour broadcast where I'm asleep, but I was up for some of them, or I rewatched the VOD.
Yeah, I saw. I was in a couple of them, but I was not as vocal as you were because it was literally like every time someone did a good frag, it was Goose was there just
Let's go!
hyping them up. Let's go! And this is the kind of stuff that I love seeing from team members, and I'm sure that BB also when your Australian friends are playing and competing, that you're still supporting them and cheering them along.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as vocal, but yeah, I do like just stop by and watch.
When the time zone allows for it,
Yeah,
of course.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool event. I mean, it had its ups and downs, as we know, in terms of the organization of it. I don't know if we need to go into too much detail on that, but definitely some room for improvement there. And I think also that was part of the reason why Canada wasn't there, because of the way that wasn't IESF, but it was like the way the regional federations worked. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement in that aspect. Because I was chatting with the Canadian rep when I was there, and like it sounded like it was a whole mess. Because I think in NA for the men's team, it wasn't even the roster that qualified. It was a different roster.
It was like the fourth one.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously some stuff going on there, but it was still really cool. I think like for the women's event, like it was really sick, particularly having Team Netherlands win and then going up on stage with Armin van Buuren. Like that is
Oh, that was sick.
So cool, right?
I remember walking away and then I randomly I hear him announce that they were gonna come on stage, like they just won, and I see them from a distance. I'm like, oh my god, that is crazy! Like,
wow.
Yeah.
What
that's like a
been...
experience like you just like never forget. So that's just so cool.
Yeah, that they looking at the footage from it too, because it was such a big crowd. It was Armin van Buuren playing, and this really blew my mind. It was amazing to see this happen.
It's like great publicity as well, like for Counter-Strike women's Counter-Strike, because like that clip of them on the stage was posted by like Jake Lucky and stuff, so that's had like tens of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of views on Twitter. So it's really cool stuff. So that's a big win that came from the event.
Yeah, I think there's still good takeaways, and where there aren't, you can always find room to like learn. Like I think the information could be a bit better because, like for example, WSG was to me, very straightforward, which was kind of a similar idea, but it's different because there's federations or something involved now. But I think like what that means to players is very like confusing from my standpoint. And I've been to like a lot of events, so I feel like if I'm confused, I don't know what the other girls are gonna be doing too. But I think in general the event was cool. Like for me, I was happy that like my girls could go play another LAN, and I'm sure girls who don't often get the experience, it's something to play in, it's something to have fun in. And from my experience with WSG, it's always fun to partake. So I think there's good takeaways.
I think particularly for like I just say like the teams that don't get to play a lot. I think like Australians, right? Like
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
very few opportunities to play internationally on LAN unless you get picked up by a big team.
I mean, I think it was better before COVID, but it would probably be like 1 to 3 events per year, 1 to 2. Like yeah, you have to just qualify. But yeah, after COVID, it was like it got even less. It was like once a year.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I
COVID
think
completely.
sorry, yeah, like I mean, it's also because I mean we for ESL Impact we still had the OC qualifiers the first time around, and then I don't know what happened. She was gone.
Hmm. But during COVID in North America, that was also there was also struggles because you didn't obviously have the same amount of tournaments that we saw in Europe, and in Europe it was already like almost none.
Yeah. No, I think in general, like Europe has always been, I don't know, more fruitful, I guess the word is, with like just how many players they've had in comparison to NA region. But also, I just remember there was always like more tournaments, even if they were like small little online things, like prior to Impact. So I mean, in general, like I think NA took a giant hit from both scenes. I mean, to begin with, we didn't have a big scene prior to COVID. We only had a couple teams. Like we had good teams, but there was only like 2 of them, and then there was like kind of an underdog team. Besides that, we didn't have many players. So I think when COVID hit, pretty much killed like whatever was left, which was like 2 more teams. There was only like us at some point. But I think after COVID, things started to pick up. Like now, I think NA is bigger than it ever has been. Like there's never been this many players or teams. So I think like that's something I'm excited for. Is just having more competition. And obviously, like we always kept up in the mix scene. Like with this roster, we've always played the mixed scene of things. But I mean, anyone who's been to LAN, who's played tournaments, like you just know the extra excitement, the extra motivation you get from like getting to go to any LAN. Even like Fragadelphia didn't exist for a while, so it's like there's nothing to really like play in to keep you motivated. So it's kind of just online era. And even I know for like tier 1 CS, it kind of shook the boat a lot, like which teams were doing well and whatnot, and the motivation to keep playing your best. So yeah, it's kind of how I like see it all in like if I have to like look back.
It's interesting you say that you feel like NA is like at its best or strongest now in terms of the amount of teams, because it definitely feels like it's on like this bounce back. We've seen players come back from Valorant as well. Obviously Emily and Rain very recently, Artstar announced the other week. So you obviously think the scene's in a good place. Do you think that with CS2 coming as well, that we're going to see like a brand new era of NACS?
I definitely think I think it's going to bounce back. And from kind of what I understand from the Valorant side of things, I mean, I think there is opportunity in CS2. From like the women's like impact standpoint, I think it's gonna do well. From the mixed scene, I hope it'll do well, because I think if there's just a little bit of love into like the tournaments and like opportunities for NA, I think the scene will do really well, because you saw how well it did in Valorant, and a lot of that was because there was opportunities. Like I think NA will like pounce on opportunities if they exist. And I think they'll die if there's not a lot. Like I think that goes for a lot of regions, but just from my experience of seeing how everything went, I think that's how it'll go. And I do think a lot of people are excited for CS2. So I think there'll be an initial like surge of players, and I think people stick around. The game's fun, and everyone deep down likes this game. even if they went to Valorant. So I think if there's opportunities, then I think it'll do well.
How about in Australia, BiBiAhn? Are you still following the women's scene? If there is any women's scene left, are they excited for CS2? Is something going to pick up?
Yeah, I think actually, like, I think most of the girls are pretty excited for CS2, but it's also because like the whole region didn't get access to CS2 until recently. Like there was only a few select people that got it, and yeah, it was like literally the last update where they made it open beta, or like allowed more people to come in. That's when most of the Australians got it. So they're only just now like exploring it. But recently, I don't follow the scene too much. Like I know most of the girls there, but also like the only thing I know recently is like there's like been a new pickup for a team, like KZG. But other than that, like there's not a lot of it's just not as many players as NA, but I don't I don't follow the scene too much. I just, you know, friends with the players.
Well,
Perhaps hope on the horizon.
Yeah,
Lucy.
hopefully. I mean, to be fair, I was in a weird era of like OC, like female CS, where it was like I didn't start playing CS and when there was a lot of girls playing at the time. There would be like 10 teams even. I didn't play during that, and I played like during COVID where everyone left, and then now that I'm here, I think like the scene is starting to come back. So is it like I'm not too involved.
is there anything you think that the scene, like obviously say not that involved, but just from like a macro level, is there anything that's needed to help the scene grow?
I mean, it's really hard to say. I think one thing that could help the scene grow is like just having the initiative to like ask for help from like other players, pro players, just to, you know, improve on things like, I don't know, like routine, individual skill, stuff like that. Because I've seen it many times where we're just kind of like stuck in our own ways and we don't want to change and evolve. So I think that's just one of the many things that could be improved.
Yeah, good advice generally.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got ESL Impact Season 4 starting this week, so just want to touch very quickly on that. Won't go into all the details on it. I think the most interesting news that's just come out was that ENCE have picked up Ace's roster, which I think is really cool. So now they've got the ENCE Athena roster, which is such a sick name. Like, I really like that. So it's cool. More orgs coming through. I don't think that'll be the last. I know it's not the last.
Yeah.
It's just when the other ones get announced. So that's cool. Keep an eye out for that. I think what's most relevant to you guys is the changes to NA. Obviously, we talked about the scene being more competitive now. We've got a lot more teams in the mix. Obviously, EG, Team Karma, with the return of Emily and Rain. Shimmer, still a pretty decent contender, I'd say. And then you got teams like Hyperion in the mix, which could maybe upset. Now that it's all one group, do you think that's going to make a big difference? It feels like a really good change, in my opinion.
Do you want to go, Goose?
You can go.
I mean, personally, I don't think it changes much, but like it's for me, like it just seems more fun to just play potentially like harder teams. But like I know we're still gonna probably keep our ground, but like I just think it's gonna be fun playing harder teams.
Yeah, I think I'm more just excited to play like different teams, new teams. See how we do versus them, how they do versus us. But I think agree with Bibby. Like, I think we're a pretty strong team, and I think we have pretty good foundation. And I don't really see anyone like catching up to us quick. Because I mean, if we keep pushing and they keep pushing, it's like a race, and we're just gonna keep going. So, yeah, I think we'll do well.
Yeah, so you're not planning on slowing down anytime soon. That's for sure. I love the fact that it's going to be a very fierce competition, and I think particularly for maybe not for the first spot, but certainly for the second spot in the region. So yeah, it will be very
It's gonna be
fun
scrappy,
to
I think. I don't really
yeah.
know who's gonna take, like, I mean, you know, not to be like full of ourselves, but I think we're just like realistic with how good we are. But I think the second spot, I think, will be pretty scrappy. I'm not actually sure who will take that. So I'd like to see kind of how they face off like against each other. But you know, I still think that we have to obviously respect the teams and make sure we're not getting too cocky and throwing rounds. So I think so long as we do that, we'll be good.
Yeah, overpass comes to mind. Not gonna,
Yeah.
not
I don't
gonna.
even remember.
I have
I don't know
said
what EM you're
many
talking
a
about.
times on the broadcast, being your poor analyst, who having to stand there and wonder why, what is happening with your overpass in the amount of rounds you're
Bro, I
able
don't know
to.
what game she's talking
You're
about.
I know we're gonna have to
Don't
specify.
worry, don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here.
I've watched like one of them. I remember watching one of them back, and you're like, "Do you think this is a big enough lead?" We had like 12 tier rounds or something. Well, well, shit.
No,
Things
it was
happen.
just it was like a little bit of a rough period, but I mean, it happens, and
Yeah.
it's not like you can just change your whole game plan ahead of an event. Just because things are not working out one day, you have a bad game, it happens, and when is BiBiAhn gonna stop playing towards A?
She's a star rifler. It's what she's supposed to be.
I
What are you talking
know.
about?
Yeah, but I
I think
don't know.
I think the nice thing about our overpass is I think any team you watch is gonna have bad games, and we're humans like anyone else. It's just that we can bring our level higher and perform better usually. But I think our overpass is obviously maybe you're sitting there questioning, man, they picked it again, because I know like I've kind of heard things like that. But I think from a competitor standpoint, it's a map we're really comfortable on, and sure, there's going to be games where we mess up. Maybe we don't have the right game plan going in, or maybe things start slow that kind of snowball. Like there's a lot that goes like behind the scenes. But I think if it's one thing that we've proven is that we can throw down on that map. And even if we lose it, we'll pick it again because we know that we're good. We know that we can win. And I mean, we proved that many times over. We played 9 pandas at LAN. We lost. We played them again. We crushed them. Like, we were also the first team that actually beat them on overpass. So it's like, as competitors, I think we really believe in ourselves. And even if we have a shitty game, everybody has shitty games, but I think we're really good at buckling down and just looking forward. So I think when you think of our overpass, that's a map like we'll throw down on, and we don't care like who plays us on it. So that's just like our thought into that.
It's a great showing. I think it's a great showing of resilience, and also it makes you put down like your fan or whatever it's called. You put down your flag on the map. Like, this is our map, and
Oh
we're
yeah,
not. Yeah, and
like
we
King of
don't
the Hill
care.
or
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like we're gonna pick this map. We don't care what happened the last game. It's like you're saying. Every team can have a bad game. It can happen. A bad round can lose you a match sometimes, and it's just the little things. But showing that resilience and showing that you're not afraid, you're not giving up on it. You just keep going at it. You're doing what you're comfortable with. I think that says a lot about you as a team, despite in the face of the critics. Like myself,
I don't know
but
what
I
she's
know
talking
that
about. Don't
I
worry.
will think about that. I will remember that, and I will
Yeah, it's just some
next time
insight.
we see you pick them up, I will praise your bat pick, and then
It
and then we're gonna
won't be a
very
bad pick if we
excited.
win.
No, obviously not. It's not gonna be a bad pick when you win.
Exactly.
Who do you think is the, I guess, next strongest team? I mean, maybe I ask this question more towards BiBiAhn, seeing as you were saying it was a bit scrappy. Do you think there's a clear contender, and is it EG?
Honestly, like,
well,
I don't
you
know
want mine?
either. I don't know. I think I agree with Goose on this because like I think there's like 2 teams that could contend for second place, but like I don't know. It's like there's no clear second for me either.
I think that's the beauty in it.
Mm.
I think it's boring when, you know, that team will for sure win or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People like
And,
excitement,
yeah.
unpredictability.
And like we haven't seen these teams like play against each other either, so or like play in
Yeah.
general. So
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be
have no idea.
it's gonna be so much fun because after the season is finished, we're gonna have like this clear list of 8 teams, and like the ranking is gonna be pretty much set. And then that's gonna that's gonna be the base level of like all the future of Counter-Strike in
Yeah.
women's Counter-Strike in the NA, which I just think is super super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
But I guess at this stage you're probably looking a bit more ahead towards the finals because your results haven't been what you've wanted in the last couple of events. I guess looking towards this season, do you feel more confident in breaking into that kind of top 4 or even beyond into a final?
You want to start, Bibi, and I'll just tag off of you.
Well, yeah, no, I think in the last tournaments, yeah, we didn't have like good, like the results we wanted, but I'm looking at it from like a long-term view. Like we were still progressing, and going into this or leading up to this next land, I think we have a good shot at like just consistently getting into top 4. Yeah, that's just what I think. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, to tag off of like Bibi, I think that obviously no one wants to place the way we placed in the first, like, I think 2 events we played together, right? I think we got like not very good placings, but I mean, the first event we played was our first LAN together. Some people didn't even play LANs prior to the team or nothing big, like a big stage. There's a lot that goes into like building a team. And I think just like Bibi said, there was clear progression in every event. And from an online, like at home, I think we were doing like good, but then like everything changes when like pressure's involved and a new atmosphere. There's a lot to it, and I think we're at the point where the team itself is thriving. I think the girls are starting to thrive. I'm starting to thrive and get really comfortable, like leading in that atmosphere. So I think that there was a lot to gain from our losses, and I think that like it's a bit cliche and cheesy, but I think we were strong enough to handle those losses, and we really took as much as we can to learn from that, myself included. I think there was a lot of information that I gained from our losses, like what am I lacking as a leader? What are we missing as a team? And I think when you're a new team, there's just so many things that you're trying to build. So I think that our last line, I think it was satisfactory placement, a placement, because we beat a good team to get that spot, and we lost to a good team. So there was a lot to gain from like our loss against Navi, but there was also we kind of proved that we could play the way we know we can play against Nine Pandas, like when we 2-0'd them. All the girls were firing on all cylinders. Everyone was participating. We were playing like we would at home, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think we're very capable of high level CS. I mean, there are even times where we kind of make it close against UCL teams in like a qualifier or something. Like I definitely think we have what it takes, and we're never stopping our progression. So I think we definitely can break barriers. I think we can continue to top ourselves, top our results. But the main thing here is our progression, like what's actually happening in the server, not, what is happening on like the result or the HLTV page. And there's a lot more to gain from that. So I think I'm very happy with our progression. And I think going forward, we're just going to keep getting better. So I think we're looking forward to the final, but of course, like we got to take it a step at a time because we can't really get ahead of ourselves. But I definitely see us in the going to Valencia. It'll also be my birthday in Valencia, so like I just think things will kind of go well for us that event. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like a superstition, kind of. It's your birthday, you obviously has to go a certain way. But
Gotta get the dubs.
yeah, but I really also have this feeling that every time that you have had a LAN event, there's always been something that it's an outside factor that has contributed to impact you guys negatively,
Oh,
or
like yeah.
particularly you, because in the first season you had been away, you couldn't been able to compete against any of the European teams or any. No one really knew where the level was at, and it went fairly okay. But then we had Valencia. You had half the team was going to leave for Valorant. It was seemed to be such a struggle for you guys. And then obviously revamping the roster, which you mentioning, this is a new LAN environment for a lot of players. And then you're slowly starting to rebuild. And then it was this whole ordeal with CLG Red being bought out, and then you guys losing your home, having to find a new one, all before the most important tournament of the year. It seems like a little bit of bad luck has been following you around. So really hope that for your birthday, things will change.
Yeah, I think those are a lot of questionable experiences. But I think that, you know, it's easy to kind of let it get to you. And, especially when it's like one kick after another, which kind of is what it felt like before this roster for me. Like it felt like I just kept getting kicked when I was down. But I think that just looking forward, like with this new roster, like who knows what was going to happen. But honestly, I'm very pleased with how this roster turned out. And, just looking back from then to now, like it's kind of like who would have thought. Like I think we've done really well with this team, and I think we're really starting to glue together. And I think all the girls handled it pretty well from my POV. I think that we try to band together and we try to be like a team when we can. I'm still learning a lot what it means to be like a team, and like everyone's really got each other's back. So I think we're there for each other at least. I mean, Bibi can comment on her experience, but it was a little bit stressful, but we all really wanted to win, and that's like kind of I think what banded us together, and just the fact that we enjoy playing with each other too.
Yeah, I think as Goose said, I think from when we first started till now, like a lot has changed. Obviously a lot of negative experiences, like with CLG dying, and then obviously not so negative, but like Flashie leaving. But I think the way I look at my teammates from back then to now is like completely different. And no, I just like feel a lot closer to everyone. So yeah.
You touched on what I wanted to lean towards next, which was the change in coaching. Obviously Flashie has gone on to Navi, which is really cool. There hasn't been an announcement on your next coach, but I guess I'm curious about, you don't need to share the who's, but what that how that impacts the team, going from one coach you've worked with for so long to no coach to potentially new coach. Like, what sort of impact does that have in the server?
You want to start, Bibi? I can just tag on.
Well, yeah, Flashie. I mean, Flashie played like a really big part in our team. Like, he was doing most of the like prep work and like demo work in one-on-ones, and I know he was like working with Goose a lot. So there's a lot of things or like responsibilities Goose wanted to delegate to everyone, so we could all carry like Flashie's responsibilities going forward. Up until we find another coach. But yeah, like I think the way we handled it was pretty seamless and just positively. So like there wasn't too many like alarm bells going off when he left. So we just we just did what we could, and carry our own responsibilities.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all like happy for him that he found like such a good, such a prestigious org to be a part of, and it just shows like how good he is as a coach. But I think we had a really good like working relationship. I thought like he was really easy to talk to, really easy to work with. I think we had like a really good thing going with our system and everything. So I think, you know, there's going to be a bit of like getting used to I mean, just like with anything new, like it's almost like replacing an IGL in a way where, like, you know, they're also a leader of the team, and so you're gonna have to kind of figure out an identity with the new coach, create a system that like everyone is on board for, and you know, learn some new things from the new coach, and the coach also, and you know, understanding what works for us, and how do we build upon like what we currently have as an identity, because I mean we spent a lot of time in our foundation, so there's going to be a lot to like learn from, but I think that we do a good job when it comes to like challenges and learning, and I think just like seeing it as an opportunity, rather than like something that's like a obstacle or something like that. You know, Flashie has a new opportunity, which I'm sure he's going to learn a lot from, and you know, we'll have a fresh set of eyes, I guess, that can also maybe see things we haven't seen before. Who knows? So the girls also were delegating a bit, some responsibilities, just so it's not overwhelming, feeling like the presence leaving. So we're trying to incorporate that, and we are in the process of finding a new coach. So hopefully we'll by the season we'll have a coach for all our matches.
Oh, wonderful. I really hope you can find the right fit. It's never easy. You're a group of 5 girls, and you have your special needs and stuff like that. You know, a guy also, a guy or a woman, whoever you end up with, they also have to understand kind of that side of it too, which for some people it can be like a little bit more difficult to really like get into. So when you're talking about Flashy and you're saying he's a great guy, is easy to talk to, that can be so important, and particularly if you're coaching a women's team.
What can you tell us about a potential new coach? Is there anyone you're courting?
BiBiAhn?
Oh, okay. So yeah, we we did trial a few coaches. I won't drop every name, but we did secure a coach coming into this LAN. I don't know if I could say his name.
Munstur?
Yeah, so we picked up the coach that was at IESF Romania with the American team. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, so his name is Munstur or Munstur. He was the analyst for Gamer Legion, and he was one of the first names that was really on our radar when we lost Flashie, and I think Flashie recommended him. So we've been working with him for a while, for like a little bit. Like he's been in our track just observing, and then also just like we only just recently started working like full time with him. So I think from my POV he's been really, really good. Like not to discredit like Flashie's work or anything, but he just brought a new like view to the game. And like his soft skills are pretty good. He is Romanian, but he does speak like really good English. And I think everyone finds it pretty easy to talk to him. And like yeah, I don't know. I think going into next like LAN, or like coming up to this next LAN, I think working with him will be pretty rewarding. So that's why I'm pretty excited on like how where we're gonna end up like on LAN placings with him.
Very exciting to hear. Or not hear, depending on. But yeah, that's something incredible. And have you heard anything about Team USA's experience with him as the coach for them at this LAN event?
I think they enjoyed, like, I mean I was keeping tabs with all the girls like the whole event. I mean I had nothing else to do really, since we were on break. You know, we can't play without the half of our team. So I mean I was keeping up tabs with everyone, you know, supporting them, but also like asking them how like their experience is and just learning more about, I guess, the situation. But I mean, they had nothing but good things to say about him. And I mean, Bibi met him as well. But yeah, I mean, I think we had a lot of options, you know, that could have panned out. But I think Munstur seemed like the best fit for us, and I think he's very efficient with his work. It's something I noticed. He's very like he just pops it out like the next minute, like I'll ask him for something. So he's pretty like quick with his work. I think he does offer like a new perspective, since I mean he was more of an analyst before this, sorry. So I think in a way that kind of gives him like a different look, where a head coach usually has different responsibilities. So he's going to be like learning a bit with us, and I'm sure we'll be learning with him. But I think that he'll do well and adjust quickly, while also offering that perspective of like someone who does really hard like analytical work, where I've already kind of seen the different look, I guess, like you know, the things he's looking out for, that might be beneficial for us, like even prepping versus our team. I think that'll be pretty seamless, I think, where yeah. So we'll see how things change, but I think we're looking forward to it, and we have a lot to learn. We don't really know a lot about each other yet, but from what we do know, it seems like it's a good fit.
Yeah, I have this sensation that when you're coming from an analytical or analyst background, you for example, you see the head coach of G2 Svani, the success that the team has had with him being the head coach. Hopefully, something similar that you guys can get done with him on the team. But from from the future, let's go back in history and let's dive back into GooseBreeder. How did you start up with Counter-Strike?
How did I start? I used to play League of Legends before CSGO. This was like back when I was like 18. Um,
Have you seen this
oh, the
kid up
Poro.
in the...
Yeah. I was looking at it actually.
But
It's
I
very
have like
cute.
CSGO here and ESL Impact. So I think
Yeah.
I'm like, it's balanced.
Yeah, I've been like, I've just been like absorbing your background. It's very
I
pleasant.
got overpass. You should recognize both of
I
these.
have. I have things like that actually, but they're in like a folder because I don't know where to put them. But very nice artwork as well.
Yeah, your koi fish and there's a Pikachu cushion in the background of BiBiAhn.
Yeah, I got
Well,
this
look
stuff.
at us all just like stalking each other and looking at other stuff.
What you got back there? I got a dog's my main decoration.
Oh yeah. But anyway, you started playing. Your first game was League of Legends, and then what happened?
So I used to play League. I would play like ranked solo queue, sometimes duo queue. I got to like plat 3 like when I was 18, so that was like 9 years ago. See, I mean, it was like a little bit of bragging rights, but it wasn't anything too crazy. Yeah, then I was just like always tilted by this game because like you would die if you die early, like it really I honestly I think it's just untreated ADD at the time, and I couldn't handle the fact that I have to farm for 10 more minutes. Like it was just the most excruciating thing ever to just be so bored, having the last hit and freeze the lane and whatever. I was like, screw this game. I'm done. I went to go play CSGO. I knew of it from my brothers. My second oldest brother used to play like Counter-Strike. I only ever like saw it. I didn't really play it or know anything about it. I think he let me play once when I was like 13 or 14, and I was like shooting my own team without realizing they were not, you know what I mean? I didn't realize who was who.
It can happen to the best of us, okay? Lucy,
and they're like, hey,
I'm
what
sorry
are you doing?
for that time in the matchmaking.
No, I apologize. I was like, sorry, like little squeaky 12-year-old. I was like, sorry, guys, I don't know who I'm shooting. And they all forgave me. They didn't even kick me. But yeah, I basically started playing around 18. I don't know, I played for fun, and I think I was like, I play with like friends I met along the way. I would just like add people for matchmake that seemed cool, and I would just play with them. And then I made like a group of friends over time and people I could play with, and I would just like learn from them. And then from there, I got picked up by Miss Harvey's team at the time, which was UB United. I was like, I didn't even have a year into this game, and I was like going to my first like big LANs. So I played like 3 LANs in a span of 3 months, and I think from there is kind of what like got me hooked to like the LAN, the competitive side of things. Where like I think prior to that, I was always enticed by like watching myself develop and get better at something, and I think that's what like hooked me to CS. Like I think CS was like a fun game, but I also recognized that I was like developing quickly for the amount of like I never played Counter-Strike prior to that. So I was like, maybe I have a shot here, you know, like maybe there's something that I can do that like is like special, like, you know, something that separates me from others. Like, you know, maybe I can be exceptional at this. So that's kind of
You
like
just
what
felt
got
that
me.
you had the talent for it.
Yeah.
You
That's what I think hooked me.
certainly, yeah, and you certainly do. And then you had this after you United, you had your stint with Team Karma and
Yeah.
Dignitas, and
Yeah.
then you reverted back into
The Uno
CLG.
reverse.
Yeah, how was that? How was that journey going back and forth? And it's
Yeah.
difficult for us on the bystander side of it, because obviously I was also playing back then, and to see you
Yeah.
switch teams and go back for it, it's like, oh, what's happening here now? It's so strange because you're going for like the best team, and then your next team is now suddenly the best team, and then we're just like,
Yeah.
ah,
Like, who wants to be the new best team?
yeah, pick up
Just kidding.
GooseBreeder ASAP. Any chance
LP.
we can get her to Norway?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I learned a lot like from being on team Karma and Dignitas. I think I felt like my learning there was capped at a certain point, and yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like go too crazy into it, but basically I just felt like we weren't improving, and I think that I think that the more I like think about, I guess, just myself and learn more about myself, I realize that's a very big part of like what motivates me is seeing a improvement and seeing like everyone's hungry. We have the same goal for the same things. Like I really wanted to progress in the mix scene as well, and we were just like hard stuck, not getting better in my opinion. And I felt like I wasn't getting better either. So I felt like I kind of like wasn't I kind of like didn't have much to learn anymore. So I guess I was looking for like a challenge and something to bring me to like higher skies. And I felt that CLG at the time had like players who I think could take me there, who knew a little bit more about the game, who when I watched play seemed more like um ironed out, I guess. But obviously I think the girls on that squad had like talent as well. Otherwise, like, you know, we wouldn't have done really well either. Like, I think that if there was something that like we did well is I think we were a good team when I was on Karma. Like, we were actually a squad, like when we go to lands and stuff. So I think there's a lot to learn from like each journey. But yeah, when I swapped to like CLG, I was doing it for the long-term success, and I felt that's where my long-term success would be, and that's where I would keep improving. And even on this team, I am still learning a lot. Like I didn't really know what to expect, especially like because we had a lot of training to do, a lot of building to do. But I actually learned a lot more so as a leader. But I think being a leader really like magnifies your characteristics and your traits and the good and the bad, the double-edged sword of like who you are as a person and your characteristics, things you um do, I guess, in the server. And I guess it's made me like learn a lot about myself and what I need to do to get better, what could make me a better person as well as a player, as well as a leader. So there's like a ton I've learned, and I don't know. It's been 9 years, so it's like, you know, to put it all in like a little thing. That's kind of how it's been. I've just been grinding the game for a long time, and I tried to
I
improve
feel
on
like
different things over time.
yeah, I feel that's like if you're gonna describe GooseBreeder in one word, it's literally grinder. 100%.
Yeah, 15K hours. I'm slowing down a little, but there's a lot of logs.
And that's only 9 years, so that's a lot of hours every day.
Yeah. I'm surprised I've consistently kept it going for this long, but to all the young whippersnappers at home, it's all about pacing yourself and doing things with a purpose. So that's been a big shift is like, I used to pug like all the time, every day, all day. But now it's more like, okay, mechanics, working on my mechanics, because like you need to shoot, bang, bang. And then game sense. So like demos, just doing things with a purpose, scrimming with a purpose, watching yourself back. And that's really what's going to be the best way to use your time.
Yeah, I never understood people who went and did pugs, like playing Face It or whatever. And then they're playing on like the map that they have there as their permavito.
Yeah.
Whereas I would prefer to play in the maps that I'm feeling like uncertain about and play the position that I feel uncertain about that I need to practice. And yeah, to just try to understand the game better. I felt it was very useful practice for me. But everyone's different. So for someone,
Yeah.
it's good practice for them is to just run on mirages with headshots.
Sometimes it's just for fun, I guess. Like that's something I had to learn as well, where I think I was way too like everything has to be for a reason. And then like forgetting to just enjoy myself. So I guess that's like part of like that's probably where people are just enjoying themselves and loving the game is something that can be forgotten, especially when playing for so long. But I think that's, I guess, part of the learning point is everyone does have their own thing. And I think doing things for a purpose, like you said, playing things for a reason, practicing things is also very good. And then, there's times where you got to let loose and have some fun. And maybe if playing your permaban is what makes it fun for you, then have fun, I guess.
In the last few years, you've kind of become not just like a leader within your team, but a leader in the scene and quite an iconic person. But I'm just wondering, like in terms of as your career has gone on, becoming more of a leader, not just in the role as the leader, but also in like calling, IGLing, that sort of thing. Was that something that came natural to you, or was it something you've had to work on?
I think both. I think that there was a lot of things that I understood that would make me a good leader, but there's a lot of things that I learned that I didn't have a good handle on. And even still now, like there's still a lot that I recognize that I might lack as a leader. And I think understanding like I'm not gonna like have every skill in the book. And that's kind of like I listen to leadership books and people who really like know what they're doing. I'm a really big fan of like Jocko Willink. I talk about it all the time, but I think he has really good feedback on like what it means to be like a leader. And just like understanding what I'm good at, trying to, utilize my teammates. It's not just me. It's not just everything falls on me to like lead, but also like, how do I utilize like my girls? Because they all have their strengths as well. Like I have my weaknesses, so do they. And we can kind of work a little puzzle to kind of get the best out of everyone. And maybe there's things I lack that the girls can help me with. And I mean, I literally have like ADHD and I'm like calling for this team and we make it work, which is kind of funny, like to think about. But we have a good system going and we keep working on it. But yeah, there's a lot that I recognize that I still need to get better at. Little people skill things. I don't think that I don't know how to talk to people, but it's like the little niche stuff that makes you like a great leader. Like how do you get people motivated, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't even really know where we went with the question, but that's kind of like what I've gotten out of that. I don't know, there's like only so much time in the day. I try to like help the scene out and stuff, but I try to also make sure I'm taking care of myself, make sure like my needs are met too. So I try to help others, but I try to find balance and make sure that I'm giving myself time in the day as well. So
Yeah, to make food, for example.
Yeah, like feed
And
myself, like
have a shower. How about that?
Yeah,
It's just
I could use one
normal
maybe.
things. It's those just some common like issues that
Yeah.
people with certain disorder may have sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Oh, right. Gotta eat. Don't forget to eat. I wrote it on a notepad. Eat
You wrote it on
breakfast.
a notepad. You put an alarm.
An alarm for my
Food.
notepad. Read your notes. That tells you to do something. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
it works. It works.
it worked. It worked. It's just like planning. A lot
Yeah,
of
a lot of
planning.
planning. I have a lot of
Yeah.
notes for notes that
Yeah.
lead to other notes.
Good. We want you for another 9 years. So.
Noteception.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, I don't even know. I look at
Yeah,
my
wait.
notes and I'm like, I get lost in them, dude.
Do you use? I seem to remember Elise using like this notes. Do
Evernote?
you also? Yeah, to make
Yeah.
his notes for. I remember seeing it in like a YouTube video or something explaining, and we stole that, and then we started
Yeah.
doing our like prep and
Yeah.
our notes in the. Are you also using that tool?
Yeah, he actually got me into Evernote. I have like 3 years worth of notes on Evernote, and it's crazy. I used to date them and stuff and everything, but I have it pretty like planned out. I do use Evernote a lot. I think it's really useful, but everyone has like their own note taking. To me, I think whatever works for you, it's more about how you approach it and what you're doing rather than like where you're taking it on. But yeah, I definitely use it. He got me into like writing notes for sure. I think it really, I don't know, I just went ham. Like in 2020, I just like watched so many demos. It was insane. I had to honestly slow down. Like I think I was doing too much demos and had to like start playing the game.
Did you feel like you got like hyper fixated on I'm gonna take
I
notes
think
and
I
watch all
was.
the
I think I was
demos?
I think I was hyper focused on demo
Yeah.
watching. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. I still watch it, but I definitely at some point I felt like I was learning too much that like I need to apply things. Like I need to like slow
Yeah.
down and apply the things that I'm learning before I
Like-
start going into like 40 chess. I need to get my checkers in game. Yeah, get the
when you're
checkers ironed out.
finding when you're finding like 15 different lineups for that one smoke. and
It's
then you're
really
just like,
bad for ADD too.
but you
'cause you're thinking
never
of
get to
every
use
option.
it in game. Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of ADHD, let's get back on track.
Yes.
Because where time is a slight concern, I know for everybody. So we've had a bunch in your history, very interesting. But I definitely want to hear from BiBiAhn as well. So I want to put the same question to you, not the question I just asked, but the question we asked before that. How you got into CS, your story, your scene, go.
All right, I won't take as long as time won't be
Take a bit.
time will be fine. But like, I mean, I also was playing League of Legends before playing CS.
It all started with League.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
played Dota? What the hell?
No, that was too hard. Yeah, I don't know. I was playing League before I played CS, and then my high school friends told me to play CS, and so I started playing CS, and then I was just always on Faceit, always fugging every night after school. Very sleep deprived for school. Come back, do it all again. And yeah.
What do you mean? Did you stay in school?
Oh yeah, no.
Why didn't you just quit?
No,
Like I did.
No. I finished school.
I finished later, but I trust me, when I first started, I was so like into it that I was like, yeah, I can't do anything else. I have to
I
just play
quit it too.
Counter-Strike.
It's hard. I congratulate anyone who can do both.
Yeah. I don't know, like 2019, I think I started playing competitively. I got picked up by Artemis. Like she just DM'd me and she was like, "Yo, join our team." And I think I was like the same as, yeah, I was like the same as Goose, where it was like I just went to like 3 international lands in like 3 months. It was crazy.
I remember little Bibby at lands.
Yeah, you were like 16 at the time, right? Like back in teen college.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
She was like this tall.
Yeah. No, I don't think I grew since then.
But what was that like playing lands at like that age? Like that's crazy.
I mean, I wasn't a stranger to like traveling and just being around. I actually know the part around where I'm around like just people I don't know, that was weird to me. But traveling was like something that I wasn't like unfamiliar with. So I always I don't know. I just liked the opportunity just to see new things, and obviously it was like I think it was Katowice, IEM Katowice, where it was like my first LAN. It was just so weird to me. It's like everything was so new to me, like media day, like like SSD setup, just simple things like that. Now that I just like expect, like it was just so new to me. But obviously, uh, you know, all of those people now that I met back then, like I'm, very, very still good friends with them now, and uh, yeah, and it just went on from there. Like I think after that stint of international lands, like we went into COVID, so there was a whole lot of nothing for the next like 2 years, and then I was still just playing Face It and playing in like teams. I was playing with my female team at the time, but I also wanted to also move on to bigger things. So whenever there was an opportunity, for example, like Rooster, I hopped on it immediately. And I think I'm also like you, where I like to see, I like to just learn more about myself and also just learn about the game.
Could
And it was
you?
also
I know it's not everyone's probably fully aware of your history, but could you just tell a little bit about your time on Rooster for people that don't know?
it was a very short time, like 2 weeks or something.
But it's
Honestly,
rare for that sort of thing to happen.
yeah, it was rare, but it was only because like I guess one of the players on that team, ADK, he recently played in Malta. Um, I went to school with him, so I knew him for like a long time, and like I always entered into the same like local lands as he did, and so he was like aware of me, and like one day he was just like, "Yo, you want to join Rooster 2?" I was like, "Okay." So yeah, that's just how I got onto the team, and obviously like uh, it was a very weird team dynamic. I don't know if I could even say team, but like it was almost puggy, but people were like sharp, I guess. But um like experience is experience. Like there were still better players than the players I was playing with, and like the whole way to look at the game, and um like playing better opponents as well. So like I enjoyed that a lot. I think the one thing that really drives me is playing people better than me, just so like I know what to do and I could reach their level one day. So yeah.
I think you always learn a lot more when you're playing with or against people that are just better than you. It's an
Yeah.
invaluable experience to be able to have that. I actually call it like a. It's like a gift, in a way, when
Yeah,
you're
but
able to.
people have like different ways of like looking at competition. Like, I think a lot of people tend to be like, I think I see this a lot in like female CS, where it's like, oh, they're better than us, like they're gonna win anyways, like I can't be fucked playing, like it's so what, like you play them, like, and if you want to get better, then you see what's wrong, like what wrong happened like in that match, and
Mm.
improve. Like you're not gonna improve by just like ignoring the problem.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And also when it comes to the mentality of it, if you
yeah,
never have to grind your way through a comeback, then when you have to do that to win a big tournament, then you're never going to be capable. Like
yeah.
it's going to be so much more difficult. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but if you've done that before, you're
Yeah.
obviously going to be more prepared.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So yeah, I mean overall, like I think in a different like universe, I really wish I could have kept playing on Rooster, and like if CLG never happened, like I would have wished to play at that level more. Um but then ESIC happened, everyone got banned, my whole team got banned, and I was just like, right,
All
nice.
right, later, guys.
So yeah, like but uh it's weird how things turn out. Really.
It's quite the turn of tables.
Yeah.
Hey, if make advance, make playoffs, play ACL, keep playing better teams,
Yeah.
can make it happen.
There's something
goal.
about that with playing better teams, because it was always the North American teams that was pushing the limits of what you could be able to accomplish against mixed teams or in a mixed competition. And you were both saying this, like you played in a mixed roster, and Goose, you've been playing at a very high level in the ESEA now for many years. Do you feel like you have gained, I would say, a competitive advantage with having to be playing in a team and in competition with mixed and male teams? Or could any women player, despite, even though if they're not only playing against women players, can they achieve the same level? Goose.
I think there's a lot to gain from playing teams that are better than you. I think us making advance is really nice for a few reasons, but also because it's more likely we can even play ECL teams now. So that means we can push the boundaries more. And then when we get to land, how I see it is like, I don't think like any of the like impact teams are probably better than like maybe low ECL, but higher than that, I don't think there's any like impact team that's like at that level, like not even, obviously not even us. So how I see it is, if like we can start beating those teams, and we can beat like probably any team, so long as we can adapt to like different styles and tactics. Like if our fundamentals are strong enough to beat those teams, then we're gonna beat probably any team in impact. And that's always kind of been how I saw it. So it's like, I'm still gaining a lot from partaking in it. Even in the past, like when it was like very older iterations of CLG and stuff like that, a lot of the Euro teams didn't actually play mixed. Like there's only maybe some that did, but I remember like they would just play each other or something like that, from my understanding. And I definitely think like, I mean, playing in leagues and qualifiers, it forces people to play you. So let's say maybe guys aren't scrimming you because they don't want to. That does happen sometimes. I think we've earned a lot of respect over time, so we don't really run into that issue anymore.
Mm.
But that is something that you might run into. But if you play in qualifiers, like they have to play you. ECL teams have to play you, and that's kind of like the nice part of it. Like we play in qualifiers, and they can't dodge you. They have to play you anyway. So I definitely think you learn a lot, because you're not going to get punished the same way versus worse teams. You're going to get away with things. You're not going to see the holes in certain strategies. You're not going to see what counters things. Then you get to land and you get upset because you're like, I've never run into that before till now. So
Mm.
yeah, I think there's a lot to gain from it. It's more like if your mental can handle the challenge or not, because I think people can really get hard on themselves when you're losing a lot. And just remember that, like, you're like there to practice and get better. You're not really there to like win scrims.
Mm.
Like obviously you're gonna go into scrims with trying to win some of them, but the point is to practice and get better, not like boost your ego. So yeah. I think that's kind of like how I see that kind of stuff. And I mean, it kind of falls in line to a lot of what Bibi said as well.
I think it's a great a testament to how the scene overall is developing after Impact. Because I did a little bit of research earlier today, and I stumbled upon before esports in South America. The first women's team to win and qualify for something that was in a mixed
Is it Furia?
CCG.
Furia. It was Furia.
Furia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Series
yeah.
A of Gamers Clubs. I think it happened like yesterday. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very,
that was yesterday? Okay. I didn't even
No,
feel
it
like
was. This was something different.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that happened
so-
yesterday. It was really cool.
I saw
But then-
B4 played a good team and did well, but I didn't see
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
like won.
And they did something. It was a news on Draft 5, this Brazilian news site. But then again, if it's true then that both teams have managed to, I will check up on it while you answer the next question.
Yeah.
Lucy will ask about that, and I will do
Yeah.
a little digging.
We can talk about CS2. We touched on it a little bit. we asked this. I mean, I asked before kind of about CS2 NA. I mean, what are your guys' general thoughts on CS2? Because you have to be prepping for it. It's coming soon.
Have you played it much, maybe? Because you're at
No.
IESF and shit. Okay, so I played it then. I guess. Do you want to talk about your impressions and then I can talk?
Well, it feels very different. Obviously, like the only time I don't play it like a lot, because like I still have to focus on CSGO, but I like played it once during the show match. Like the Inferno was completely different. It was so weird to play. I guess I don't know. It just like there's still parts of the game where it feels weird, like movement wise. That just feels weird to me. And I mean, for me, like mechanics of it, like shooting is like fine, I guess. But I don't know. There's like a lot of things that could be better with the game. So it kind of scares me that it's coming out so soon because there's still so many things that have to like get fixed. You know, like I swear, like every morning I open Twitter and JoJo's like uploaded some new fucking bug or something or like pixel boost. So I'm like, man, like I don't even know. I hopefully like, you know, a lot of the things get found out before it actually comes out. But yeah, I don't know. I for me it's still exciting that it's gonna roll around because it, you know, just new game, new things to learn, and the new mechanic of like the smokes being able to like disappear with the nade, like, and like what different util can be thrown for different executes now, especially because the smoke is like a bit different, and yeah, like I'm excited to see like how executes and stuff pan out in like pro player. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I feel like I've been waiting for this for forever because I felt like we have been promised this like 5 years ago, and yeah, so
Apparently
super,
it still
super.
needs some time. But I think it is exciting. I think it brings a lot of zoomers to the game. I think it just like I think it feels refreshing. The visuals are nice. I think there's a lot they're doing right, but I think from a competitive like fundamental side, there is a lot to be like ironed out. And I also feel like they need a bit more time, honestly. I'm not sure how they're gonna like release it soon or not, but I think the biggest thing, if they didn't fix anything else right now, I would really like to see movement get better. I don't know, this whole like sub-tick thing, I feel like is a scam to tell us that it's not 64 tick so they can stop talking about 64 tick, because it literally feels like 64 tick. So I don't know what sub-tick it's on, but maybe like bump the sub-tick up or something, I don't know. But the movement does feel like kind of, some games it feels like god awful and some games like okay. The shooting I think feels fine. I don't honestly have too much of an issue with. I think that the bob, like, you know, when you shoot your gun or whatever,
CL
I think
Bob, CL_Bob or something.
yeah, they need to deal with bob, because I think that's probably why people feel weird spraying, is because their guns are going crazy and they're like view model maybe. But I think the use command too, like you can't do the plus use, I think, which is like how you would like throw flash, like you would flash, like hit your bind, you would instantly pull out the flash again, or like your knife. There was like binds you could do to throw util really fast, and all those little like things I think are really nice in the game, and I would like to see them in CS2 as well. Besides that, I feel like the smokes are like, they need some tweaking, where either they're like too big or I don't know. I think there's definitely some places where you throw smoke and it covers like the entire map, it feels like. So I feel like the smokes need some work because it's such a like vital part of the game. But I think if they didn't fix anything else, I would say like please fix the movement. I would really much like to not feel like I'm running with jugs of water in my hand. Like just feel like I'm like I can't control my feet. Like
You're
I
getting
can't counter strafe
seasick.
quickly. Yeah, like I'm about to throw up playing CS2, but Yeah,
You
I
reminded
mean, it's
me.
gonna. Yeah, good.
You reminded me of like what feels weird with the game is like throwing nades. Like I don't know if you've seen that clip, like on Mirage. Like I don't know, some Impact player. I can't remember who posted it, but Impact player like posted it, which is like trying to throw the flash over like Mirage B like a million times and just never leaving her hand.
Dude, I feel like that happens in Go to me
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
like,
yeah, but I feel it
is
much
it
more
worse
in
too?
CS2. In
Like-
CS2, and also like jump throws just feel
Yeah.
weird. Like it's not leaving your hand when you throw it. I don't know. Yeah.
It feels weird
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. I just put my
Hmm.
bind in.
Yeah,
call
I
it
don't
a
know.
day.
That clip was so funny. I laughed at it for like 5 minutes.
It just didn't
Yeah.
leave her. It didn't leave her hand. So she didn't
Yeah.
release.
Flash. Oh, wait, what? Flashing?
I haven't seen it, but I will dig it up.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. It's so funny.
I'll find it. Yeah.
But then it is time for the final segment of the show, which is the segment known as the Teatake, which is Teatake, where we do some quick questions. You have to answer quickly. And
snap.
yeah, Gus, you're in luck because you have already answered the first question here.
Go
So
get it, baby.
BiBiAhn, Gus says she has 15k hours in CS. How many hours do you have played?
I don't remember from the top of my head, but like I don't know, 6 to 9k or something. I don't remember.
69k.
No,
Interesting.
629.
Weird. You landed on that number.
Wait,
How
I'm gonna
did you
check.
go? Well. Another number I'm interested in knowing is Gus, what is your faceit elo?
It's just under 3,200.
And what about you, BB? What is your faceit elo? Do you remember that one?
33, 34. Yeah, 3400.
Very nice.
3300.
But
I just
BB,
checked my hours. I'm almost at 7k.
yeah, but then you have
So she's 69.
6,900 something.
No. That's too long.
Anyway, BiBiAhn, let's move on. What is your favorite map?
Mirage.
What?
Goose.
I suck at favorite anythings. I like Mirage, I guess. I don't know. I like Overpass probably, I think, the
Yeah, I was
most.
expecting that. It's like you
I like
pick it
whatever
every
I'm
single
good at.
time.
I like whatever I'm good at. But I do well on an Overpass, it seems, so I'm cool with that. I'll throw it out on that map any day.
All right, Goose, but then which map is next to be removed from the map pool?
I think Vertigo's boring, but I don't hate Vertigo. I just think it's boring. So I wouldn't mind if it just went kaplooey.
BB, what about you?
I'm the same. Fuck Vertigo.
Vertigon! What
Yep,
map
Vertigon.
have you seen any map that you see a particular potential in CS2? Like, which map are you super excited for returning to active
Italy.
duty? Italy!
No, I was trolling. Probably Train. But Italy looks nice.
I want cash back.
Cash.
Oh yeah, Cash was good too. I was a Cash monster. Cash money, man.
I bet you were. You're North American.
I was a
so
door
always...
goblin.
Yeah, you were so good at this map. It was almost unfair, the skill that you guys had on it. But moving on, which is your favorite weapon and skin, Bibi?
AK. I don't know. Any skin.
What?
I just like the AK, I guess. Vulcan's pretty cool, I guess.
Do you have a skin that you're playing with now?
I think I'm playing with a slate, but it has like stickers on it.
And Goose, what about yourself?
AK, the Empress, of course. I got my. Y'all gotta inspect my gun. It's a work of art, but yeah, AK for sure. I like the AK the most.
But which weapon does not belong in CS, Goose?
Probably the revolver could honestly go, and I wouldn't care.
Bibi?
What weapon?
Yeah.
Can I include knife as well?
Of course.
Fashion.
Oh, okay.
Fashion knife.
Okay, that's creative.
Yeah.
God.
Uses it
Knife.
anyways. I haven't seen a fashion in like months.
I've seen a falchion once.
I was thinking about the shadow daggers because the animation.
Oh, they're
just
nice though.
I use them.
You
They're kinda-
used them.
They're really cool
Kinda
and
quirky.
quirky.
I can't use them after someone informed me that your crosshair moves
That's sticks.
when you.
That's sticks in CS2.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, butt plugs are back in a big
Since-
way.
Oh, for
I was
CS2.
gonna name them
butt
butt
plugs.
plugs, but I was like, should I say that? Like, are we calling them butt plugs?
Well, yeah.
I think everyone has called them that at a certain
I
point
think they're
in
known
time.
as butt plugs and not
Yeah.
shadow daggers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, shadow
Isn't it?
daggers, what are those? Are that those butt plugs?
What? You mean the butt plugs?
Yeah. Yeah, the butt plugs. Yeah, I have them in fade.
I have them in I fade butt plugs.
Oh, but anyway, so Bibi, CSGO or CS2?
CSGO.
Goose?
I mean, for what it is right now, probably CSGO, but I'm sure CS2, you'll get there one day, buddy.
All right, and then the final question. GooseBreeder, who is winning ESL Impact Season 4?
I mean, you're looking at them, so.
BiBiAhn, do you stand behind this statement?
I stand. Yes.
I am BiBiAhn and I approve this
I am.
message.
So you have your next champions of ESL Impact Season 4. They're going to smash everyone, all the competition at Valencia. And you are going to be, once again, the champions. I can envision it all on GooseBreeder's birthday.
Yes. Once
It's
again.
all in here. Once again, I approve.
Well, that's the tea take. Thank you very so much. Sorry, this one went a little bit longer, but we got a lot of, I think, really insightful stuff from you both. So thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, good luck with the season ahead. The last little bit we have at the end is if you have anything you wanted to share. I think what I originally called this segment, but I forgot last time, was like an inspirational message or something. Is that what I used to call it? Either way. Yeah, if you've got something motivating, inspirational you want to say to the next generation of upcoming talent, here's your moment of wisdom. Goose, you go first.
What? Ah, shit, I was gonna be. All right. Man, I think honestly, y'all need to just go listen to Dr. Huberman and Jocko Willink, and that's all you need to know in life. Like, just go listen to those guys. Like, they know what they're talking about. They got a video about everything for anyone. You'll find something that connects to you and really speaks to you. Yeah, I don't got anything, honestly. That Kill It Queens.
Yeah. I think I'm just more of a dot point person here, so like I'm just gonna say like just a reminder that it takes time if you're actually trying to, go somewhere in CS. Like, it takes a long fucking time. And you gotta make the right decisions. It's always hard to tell whether it's a bad decision or a right decision, but as long as you feel that is right, go ahead with it. And also, I think a reminder to just have fun with the game, because as a competitor, you kind of forget.
Yeah.
You're on the grind for so long. You start to not enjoy the game less, but like it's, doesn't feel like fun anymore. But yeah, have fun with the game.
True.
Obviously.
True.
And just reach out and ask people for help. And there's
Did a way better job.
so many videos on YouTube, watch those.
Yeah. Honestly, in this day and age, there's something on the internet that'll teach you whatever you need to know. So when in doubt, Google it out.
Yeah.
That's what I always say starting now.
Like, I know there's a lot of like smaller content creators that do a lot of stuff as well. That are probably more valuable than like the more popular ones, but yeah. And there's also like creators that are like not English speaking, but if you have a friend translator, they can translate it for you. Yeah, but yeah.
True.
Like, there's
Sometimes
a lot of
with
like
subtitles.
What
Yeah,
is
there's a
this
lot of-
video? What is this YouTuber that BiBiAhn needs
we
to
got connections.
translate to? I'm
Oh my
very
God.
intrigued, but
Yeah.
I think
Look,
that
I
is
can't give out my intel,
Your
but
sources.
yeah,
your
yeah.
secret sauce.
There's a lot of gem out there. Yeah.
Mm.
For real.
Great. Well, thank you for your words of wisdom. when in doubt, Google it or Google it out or something. That was the catchphrase that you've established. Yeah. Good luck with the season. And
Thank you.
That's this episode. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye.